Hi, my name is Lori Dickman. This is Quilting with Lori. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is part 2 of my Quilt-As-You-Go series. Today I'm going to be sharing with you how to sash all of the quilt blocks in the center of your quilt. I'm going to share with you how to do the short sashes between each block as well as the long sashes between each row. I have a really simple technique that I love to use and I can't wait to share it with you. So before we get started, I will link in the description box below the PDF. This is just some of the basic fabrics and batting that you're going to need to do this Quilt-As-You-Go method. And I'll also link part 1 of this Quilt-As-You-Go series so that you'll be able to watch that in case you haven't actually seen that first. And what I'm doing is quilting all of my Scrappy series blocks. I'm going to scrap together, or quilt together, excuse me, 25 of my blocks. And so I started sharing this with you in part 1. What I had you do was pull the backing fabrics that you decided to use, 12.5-inch squares. That would work with your front quilt centers. These are 12.5-inch sampler squares. And I also had you cut batting. And let me show you here. Here is one of the 12.5-inch sampler blocks. Here is the batting, and here is the backing fabric that I've chosen to use. I did mention in series number 1, you could actually use a different backing for each and every block. It's a great way to get your fabric used up. You certainly don't have to use the same fabric as I did. I also shared with you in series number 1 how to use this tape. It's a mesh tape. It's a fusible mesh tape to fuse together your batting strips so that you're actually using up all of those leftover pieces of batting. And then I do recommend when you cut your batting, trim it to 12 inches so there's not the excess batting in the seam allowances. Your backing and your quilt block should be 12.5 inches. And then when I did my quilting, I simply did a grid. That's how I did mine, a very simple grid. That's how I accomplished mine. So I recommend don't do anything real intense, just something really simple so that you can get your sampler quilted up quickly. So what I want to share with you today is how we are going to take the strips, and the information on what you need for cutting the strips is in the PDF. I have some of it cut here. I have some of these, they're 4 inches wide by 12.5 inches for the blocks, or 66.5 inches for these rows. Those are going to be the front sashings. The back sashing, I'm again using the same fabric as my backing. You don't have to. You can certainly make this really scrappy. And those are cut here. The 2 inches they're 2 inches wide by the 12.5 inches long. And then of course we're going to need the 66.5 inch wide as well. So once you have your front sashing, which is, in my case, I'm using this, it's kind of a beigey background color with some white dots. It's all 4 inches wide, folded, wrong sides together and creased like that, so the raw edges meet. And these are cut into 12.5-inch strips, and then of course I do need 66.5-inch strips for my rows. I need 12.5-inch backing sashings, and they're 2 inches by 12.5 or 2 inches by 66.5 inches. I'll need those for the rows. So once you have all of those cut, as well as your 1-inch batting, then you're ready to start working on putting your quilt blocks together. But first, of course, you do need to get them quilted up. I recommend going ahead and quilting all of your blocks first, and then let's work on the sashing together. And then part 3 of this Quilt-As-You-Go series will be actually adding the borders on a Quilt-As-You-Go method. And that one is really easy as well. You'll enjoy it. This quilt will go together for you so quickly. So in review here, I've taken a back sashing. It's 2 inches wide by 12.5 inches long. I've put it right sides together to the back of the first block, and I've sewn a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And so that back sashing is now attached to block number 1. Then to connect it to block number 2, I've taken again that back sashing and placed it on the back of block number 2. But then I've also taken the front sashing and I have lined it up on the front of the block. So it's now sandwiched. The scrappy block is sandwiched between the back sashing and the front sashing. And I'm simply going to sew 1/4 of an inch down the raw edge side of that sashing. So there you see the back sashing. There is the front sashing, and the block is in between, and I've sewn it. When you pull it out of your machine and open it up, you can see there's the back sashing, and this is the inside because the right side is back there. There is the folded front sashing. And now you're going to place your batting strips into that open space here. And you want that batting to just butt up with those seam allowances there. You don't want too much excess batting underneath there. If you've got a lot of excess batting under those seam allowances, it may cause some ridges. So that's why I trimmed mine to 1 inch to make sure there wasn't any excess batting that's sitting in those seam allowances. So once you have that in there nicely and it's all butted up, then you can simply bring your front sashing over and pin it. I shared some of this with you in session number 1, but I'm going to go ahead now and sew this here in a minute, and I'm going to show you how that is going to end up looking. But basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to secure it first of all on this side. So I'm going to sew about 1/8 of an inch on that side of the front sashing, and then I'm going to sew a matching 1/8 of an inch away from this side, and that way that sashing is secure. But then I also want to do some stitching in the center just to secure that 1 inch batting. You can do a fancy stitch here, a curvy stitch, or a couple of straight stitches, whatever you choose to do. But just in some way, make sure that you do stitch that area there so that sashing in there, excuse me, the batting in there, there's a batting that's loose, and you want to make sure that batting is secured. So I'm going to stitch 1/8 of an inch here, 1/8 of an inch here, and I'll probably do 1 or 2 rows of stitching down the center to ensure that the batting is secured. So the first one is done. I just did a simple stitch down the center, but it's all nicely secured on the back and on the front. Now I'm going to share with you how I put that together. So I simply am going to take a 2 inch back sashing strip. I'm going to pin it to the back of this second block here because I want to start attaching another one that I have quilted. So this will simply get stitched 1/4 of an inch seam allowance on that to attach this block to the back sashing. So we'll sew that. I'll bring it right back here to the tabletop so that you can see that finished, and then I'm going to show you how we're going to attach the next block and the next sashing. All right, I have that back sashing attached. There it is. I'm just going to simply finger press it. You could, if you have your machine, your iron close to your machine, then you could certainly press that open from the back there. So this is the inside of the back sashing. There is the right side of the back sashing on the back. Now we're going to attach the next block along with this sashing. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I do want to recommend also when you're sewing all of this, make sure you're using a walking foot. You will be so much less frustrated if you use a walking foot. And if that is not a tool that you have, I would recommend getting a walking foot for your sewing machine. It is a tool that you'll use a lot. It's a wonderful tool to have. So I would make sure that you get a walking foot for your machine if you don't have one. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead and pin the back sashing to the back of this block. So I'm simply going to pin that. And this back sashing on this side. So I've just kind of got them attached here for a minute. Also, at the same time, I'm going to attach this front sashing to the front of that block. So I've got the back sashing pinned, or started. I started pinning it to the back there. And now I'm going to start pinning the front sashing. And again, all of these front sashes are 4 inches wide. They're folded in half, wrong sides together, and they're pressed so that the raw edges are even. So I'm going to lay that there. I'm going to remove that pin and repin it. So now I have the block sandwiched between the two sashings. And we'll get this one pinned, and we'll get this pinned. I'm going to go ahead and pin in the center of these two seams, and then I'm going to take this to the machine here. Whoops. Do make sure that your back sashing is even. Mine is not. I need to repin this. That kind of slipped away a little bit. Okay, that's better. Now I'm going to take it to the machine, and I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance to attach the back sashing with the block and front sashing. And I'm going to use my walking foot on my machine. I'll see you in a minute. So I've just finished sewing the second set of sashing, the back sashing and the front sashing, to connect these two blocks. And you could certainly press this if you have your iron right by your machine. Mine is not, so I'm simply going to finger press it. And now I'm going to add the 12-inch batting in here. It's 1 inch wide, 12 inches long. I'm trying to keep my batting out of my seam allowances, so I'm making sure that it butts up nicely to the edges there, so there's not any actual ridges. Then I'm going to bring this over and pin it, and then take it back to the sewing machine. And again, I'm simply, I'm doing this really simply. I'm just sewing 1/8 of an inch. Basically, it's a top stitch on each side of that front sashing, and then I'm sewing down the center of that front sashing because I want to make sure that I'm catching the sashing so it's secured. And that's how I'm going to attach all of these. I'm going to attach 5 in a row. I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll be right back. I'll show you that, and then I'm going to show you how we're going to attach the long sashing in between the 2 rows of the quilt blocks. Here I have 5 of the blocks sashed together with these sashes, and I have another 5 underneath here that have been sashed together. I have also pinned the 66.5 inch length of 2-inch back sashing to the 5 blocks in the front, and that's sewn together. And I'm now pinning that same blue 66-inch length of sashing to this side, and I'm sandwiching this row in between the front sashing and that back sashing. Basically, I'm doing the exact same thing as we did on the short sashes, and we're doing the very same thing on the long sashes. And I'm going to go ahead and sew this 1/4 inch all the way, the entire length, and it's actually 66.5 inches on my quilt. And you will want to measure your length. Maybe your blocks didn't turn out to be 12.5 inches as you squared them up. Maybe they were 12.25, or maybe they were just 12. Whatever they were, then you'll have to make some adjustments to the length and also to the length of the shorter sashes as well. But I'm going to go ahead and sew that, and then I'll bring it back to the tabletop, and I'll show you how we're going to add the batting in there as well. The sashing in the back, the blue sashing for the back of the quilt, has been attached now to both rows, this row as well as this row, and I have sewn the front sashing on this side. So on this row of blocks, this row of blocks is sandwiched between the front sashing and the back sashing. And here you'll see this front row. Now I've got this little space in here in which I must place my batting strip. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in that area there. It's a 66.5 inch length of batting. I'm going to make sure that that gets placed in there nicely, and then I will bring the front sashing over and get that pinned down. And then what I'll do for this sashing, the lengthwise sashing, just the same as I did on the crosswise sashing, I am going to sew an 1/8 of an inch away from this edge as well as this edge, and I'm going to stitch down the center of this entire length to ensure that that batting is secured. And you can certainly do fancy stitches, curvy stitches, whatever you want to attach that. But that is how you're going to attach the rows of scrappy blocks together lengthwise. You're using the same process that you did on the short sashing, but it's just a longer piece that you're using. The longer back sashings, the longer front sashings, and of course the longer battings. So then we'll get that sewn together. I'm going to go ahead and do this for 25 blocks. So I will have 5 rows of 5 blocks, and I'll have all the sashings on the center of the quilt done. And then for part 3 of the Quilt As You Go series, I'm going to show you how to attach the outside sashing to the perimeter of the quilt center as well as the borders. So stop back for part 3 of the Quilt As You Go to see how this can all be put together. And in the meantime, make sure that you're getting all of your scrappy blocks quilted up, get your sashing done, and put your center quilts together as you have seen me do here. And then for part 3, we will work on the outside sashing as well as the borders. Thank you so much for joining me for part 2 of my Quilt As You Go series. And in the link, in the description box below, I will be linking a number of things for you. I will link my Speedy Solutions books. I have been teaching you how to put together a new scrappy block each and every Monday, so hopefully you've been working on that. That's what I am actually putting together in this Quilt As You Go project. I wanted to get some of these blocks put together into a beautiful quilt. So that is what I'm working on. I hope you're joining me. If you are, I'd love to see photos of anything that you're working on, whether it's the scrappy block, the Quilt As You Go, whatever it is. I hope that you'll go out to my Facebook page, Quilting with Lori, and find my group page, Scrap Up Your Stash, and post pictures so that we can all enjoy seeing those. So keep working on your scrappy blocks, get them quilted, get your inside of your quilt all sashed up and ready to go, and then I'll see you in part 3 where I'll show you how to connect the outside sashing around the perimeter of your quilt as well as the borders. We'll show you those options. It is really fun, it's really easy, and we'll have this quilt done in no time. So until part 3, I'll see you soon, and happy quilting.